good year, won 8. Turned out to be, one short. Look back at it, I always have said this about every year is like last year we're 6-5, and you look at some games and it's like, man, we got lucky to win that one, and we could easily be 4-7 or 3-8, and as well again last year. So man, there's a couple we let slip away. We should be 7-4, 8-3, and this year I felt like the games we won, and the 3 games we lost, there's one that we were completely out of early, and then the other 2, it's you're in the fourth quarter battling, and we can blame a lot of blame on a lot of different things. We just didn't get it done in those 2 games, or we did in the other games, and that's why we're not practicing today. And if we'd have gotten it done in one of those, we'd be out practicing, and we'd be on the road looking to go somewhere. So, it's a successful year from the build of where we're going to go and where we want to be, but when you're that close, these opportunities don't come along that, very much, and you got to take advantage of it when you can, and it'll sting for that, but then you go back and think of where we've come from, and the leadership of the seniors that we had, and how they took over this program and did it the right way. It's be a very special team for a long time.
You have to replace a lot of talent, obviously, from this year's team. Jared Johnson, a few guys along the D-line, Duke, Carter. Are you expecting just who are some people that maybe didn't contribute as much this year that you think could really kind of replace those guys, or at least try to?
I think you saw Khalil Harris a little bit, what he can do running back. It's a shame that he got hurt when he did, because I thought he would have helped us a lot in those 2 games I was talking about. Somebody's got to step up on the D-line for Jared, and I think where we're going to miss Jared is not only the way he plays and what he brings to the game, but what he brings to the team off the field and his leadership. And he's one of the guys that really did it by his actions, and was a very vocal leader as well. And guys gravitated toward him. And so he's going to be. I don't think it's going to take. We're not going to have one guy replace him. We got to have a group of guys come in and fill that void for us. And we got some very good young talent, that we're looking at that I think can produce later on down the line. They're going to have to step up and go right now. So running back, Duke did a great job for us this summer, and taking care of young guys when they came in and making sure they knew how we did things here. So I think again that's that leadership part of it. Duke was going into the game. Duke did dress out. He was hurt, and you could tell that mentally and not physically hurt, but mentally, and he was hurt because he wasn't able to play, and he wanted to be out there so much for his teammates. But as the game wore on and he got into the game, got excited, it was good to see him on the sideline smiling and encouraging guys. And that's what we're going to miss more than anything is just the camaraderie that these group help form and forge together as a team. I think that's it's going to be our biggest loss.
Who are some players that stood out to you this year that maybe surprised you?
Adam Alcorta coming in and playing on the offensive line. Reese Forrest came out, played very good on the offensive line for us. I thought Hayden coming back off the injury, Hayden Dennis did an outstanding job for us as well. He kind of expected, some guys to perform the way they did. The Darian Hudson at the safety position coming in, being here spring. I thought he did very well. And Jawan McCall surprised me, a receiver, and that's a senior that didn't have a lot of touches the previous year, but took it upon himself to do some things. And, those are guys that, I knew were solid individuals, but they just kind of had like a breakout year. And that helped us a lot.
Gerber, I just want to talk about, he's got 2 more years here. How excited are you knowing that you have him as your quarterback? As well as you have Max, who's can literally play just about any position. What's that like, knowing that you have them both here?
Well, bringing back a guy that had success at the quarterback position. Our offense had success, and, in the system that we're in with Coach Brown. I think that Nick has got a lot of work to do. Right? That being said, he did a great job for us. And it's not. I think as the year went on, he started to understand he could use his legs a lot more than he was using in the beginning of the year. That really helped us a lot in keeping drives going and keeping things sustained. But he's only going to get better. This year is just going to make him better, and we got to get some surrounding cast around him. I really like the guys coming back, the young guys we have at the receiver position and running back position, and we got Jordan Johnson and Jeremy Karangbai coming back. And Max can go anywhere and put him anywhere. So Nick's only going to be as good as Nick allows himself to be, and that's if he learns from the mistakes he made this year. I think he can be a great quarterback the next 2 years.
Do you think this team has the talent, and taking into account the guys leaving, the guys returning, and maybe new recruits for next year, do you realistically see yourselves getting 9 wins next year? I know anything can happen, so many different circumstances, but do you have a goal in your mind, or
We faced a lot of injuries this year, and when you lose 2 backs in the first game, and at one point that's why we ended up moving Jordan Johnson back to the backfield and brought Khalil up. We're trying to save Khalil and redshirt him. We lied, and in the offensive line we had a couple of injuries hit us at the wrong times, and you never know. If I sit here this time last year, I think we could win 8 or 9 games. You always hope so, but it's a long season. Things happen, and you just hope you put yourself in a position to be competitive at the end of those games and can finish them somehow. I think a lot of teams in Division II battle injuries, but we're trying to build that depth along with it to where the injuries aren't a significant injury for a period of time. Will not just halt what we're doing on offense or defense. So, we want to be practicing this week, and I think we're good enough to be practicing this week. We lost those games, but I don't necessarily think that we got beat in those games with the factors that went around, and that means no disrespect to those teams that beat us at all. But our expectations are always to compete for a conference championship, get in the playoffs, and win a national championship. And that had changed since the year 1 I got here. So those expectations will stay the same. We had a meeting this morning, started with the 2020 football team. That as soon as that game ended, 2019 was basically over based on everything that I heard in the situation. So that becomes the birth of the 2020 team. And that's what we talked about this morning, moving forward from 2019, and this is now this seniors group. You have to take leadership. You have to start taking ownership. You have to become those that held each other accountable. They had a great group that showed them the way, and hopefully we can have those guys continue doing that.
8-win season, you got more firepower when you're walking into a recruit's living room to try to help sell the school. How exciting is that, just knowing how recruiting can be affected by a season?
Yeah, and I think that the way we've done it and building up, and we can tell them that here's our vision for how we want to do things and the way we're going to go about it, and we've stuck to that plan, and it's right now it's been successful. And there's no bigger firepower than where we're sitting right now in this stadium. And this is a freaking nuclear bomb right here for when it comes to recruiting. And we bring people up here, and we get the lights on in the stadium. We're eating dinner up here on a recruiting trip. It's a pretty special place, and along with the rest of the facilities that we're in the locker room and this. But it's just the 8 wins really helps. But it's a lot easier to go and to say, hey, look at the rise we're on from 3 to 6 to 8. We're going to keep developing and keep moving. And and really when we get guys on campuses, have our players talk to them. And our players tell them this is, when Coach gets up there and speaks, he means it. It's not just lip service for recruiting. He's in there telling you the way it is because we can vouch for that. So I'm looking forward to it. 2 guys have already left on the road recruiting, and 3 guys leave tomorrow. And I get stuck doing 12-hour meetings with all the players, but it's a good time to me to sit and get to know them a little bit better and chat with them about their year. And, I told them all this morning, you're going to walk into those meetings and we're going to be honest with you and upfront with you, and you might not like what you hear. But I want you to be honest with me. I want you to tell me what you think we need to do to help this program out. Because anything that changes or anything that needs to be done, starts with me. And if I can't self-evaluate myself and be honest with myself on those type of issues and those type of things, then how do I expect this team to get better? Or do I expect the assistant coaches and the players to do that? So, I always look forward to their input. I always look forward to what they have to say and how we can get better. And that's all we want to do. Is, again, I told them, I said 8 wins isn't good enough. We're not where we want to be. We want to be practicing today and getting on a plane or a bus or whatever the NCAA would tell us to do and go wherever they go, or we want to be playing right here. So that's the goal.
I know it's a long off season and the season just ended, but do you know of any, whether it's players who are planning on transferring or coaches who have gotten other opportunities or decided they're leaving yet?
It's in this day and age with social media and the transfer portal. I always ask about a couple of weeks before the season's over, any rumors or anything, and I always ask the training staff and the strength coach, because everything's talked about down there, not around coaches. And the training staff said, I've not heard anything. And I think that's a tribute to our players, our coaches who recruited those guys, and to this university that people want to stay here. And I don't know about coaching. This is a rough time for coaches. A good friend of mine just got let go this morning, and best wishes to him and his staff. And you never want to see that happen. So we'll deal with that when it comes. And my goal is to try to do everything I can to keep the same coaches here, because we've got a really good staff that works very well together, that likes hanging out with each other, that really checks their ego at the door, and it's all about West Texas football winning than me getting this or me getting that. So,
what are your focuses heading into recruiting? Do you have any positions that you're looking to focus on more than others?
Well, we're always looking to get better at every position. Everybody's going to know we're going to go looking for some kickers. We got to improve in that area of the game. We lost the long snapper. Brock Gerlich has been here for 4 years snapping, and I think he's one of the best at that. And so we got to replace that. Those are little things that you don't think about. Everybody thinks about quarterback, but with our glaring issues we had at the kicking spot, we're going to go bring some guys in. And that's not saying that I haven't lost faith in the guys we have. I just need them to get better. I need to get some competition and force them, that put a little heat on them. But every position's up for grabs. And again, on our meeting today, I told them 8-3 is not good enough. We're going to go try to find guys that are better than you guys, that are going to get us to that next level. And if we do that, it'll only make us better, because those guys will come in and compete. And then the competition within our program continues to build and get better.
Last question for me is just going to be Tobias. What kind of leap do you think he can make from second year to third year as a cornerback?
See, I think that's all on Tobias. And I say that, it's the same thing I've told Tobias. When something comes kind of easy and natural to you, you tend not to really work, because it's never been an issue. And I've had these questions with Tobias a lot, is, you have to, your work ethic has to, and I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm saying there's little things that Tobias needs to do, and all our players need to do. Focus on the little details of your craft, and that's going to make us better. And, Tobias kind of young man that's going to do that. And, he sent me a text yesterday. As a matter of fact, he was at the end of the game the other day. There's a little scuffle. He starts around the field. I grab him and throw him back. He said, Coach, I'm sorry. My emotions got the most of me. And I said, I love your emotions. I love your emotions. I said, but it's my job to try to keep them in track and get your little ass back on them, so we don't lose you for a couple of games next. And he texted me back, and very sincere, and apologized and said it won't happen again. But those are the kind of little things. He's such an emotional player, and just fun to have around. I'm gonna tell every single one of them, you have to work on the details of your craft. What you do has got to become habit, and whether it's backpedaling X amount of minutes a day or X amount of yards a day for a defensive back, so when you're tired, it's just a natural thing. You just like breathing. You don't think about it; it just comes naturally. So every single one of our players has to do that. Tobias has a great ceiling. He ended up leading the country in punt returns, which is a great honor for him. But he'll be the first one to tell you there's 10 other guys on the field that help him with that, which is what I love about him and his team. They appreciate the individual recognition, but also understand that they're not doing it without 10 other guys on the field with them.